Let's review this bombastic and crazy interview that Trump did on Sunday Morning Futures with one of our favorites, Maria Bartiromo. Let's start with something less notable but interesting, and then we'll get to the more consequential stuff, which is Trump being asked about his relationship with Elon. What have y'all talked since the breakup? Is it okay? Have y'all had any, when you kind of revert back, like you break up, but then you revert back and you sleep together a couple times, are we together? Are we not? Is there any of that going on with you and Elon is sort of the gist of the question. And Trump responds with sort of,
This was a massive decision.
Mr. President, have you spoken to Elon Musk? What happened there?
I think he's a wonderful guy. I haven't spoken to him much, but I think Elon is a wonderful guy, and I know he's going to do well always. He's a smart guy, and he actually went and campaigned with me, and this and that. But he got a little bit upset, and that wasn't appropriate.
Why did he get upset? He just wasn't getting what he wanted?
Look, the electric vehicle mandate, the EV mandate is a tough thing for him, I would think. I don't want everybody to have an electric car. I campaigned on, you have choice.
Okay, so yeah, no one's being forced. But I really don't understand about Maria Bartiromo's interviewing and all of these other reporters. I'm trying to think, have any reporters even asked, what do you say to the fact that he connected you to the Epstein files? What? She just goes, so kind of, how are things? How are things? But again, going back to the breakup example, imagine your friend broke up with their girlfriend, and as they're breaking up, the girlfriend says, hey, Charles is a pedophile. Are you going to go to Charles and be like, how you doing? Have y'all talked? Did you have breakup sex? What was going on? And not bring up the pedo bomb? But they don't even bring it up. It's so weird. They're so terrified. And I'm saying, I know Elon apologized, so maybe that's part of it, and that's a huge bombastic claim, but why don't they bring it up is my question. Then on Iran.
Do you think that the Iran regime hid some of the enriched uranium before the strikes?
No. You mean, did they take it out of the deep one? No.
Because you were pretty clear you can't have a weapon. You're going to have to come to the talk. Something's going to happen.
I don't think they did. No, I think, first of all, it's very hard to do. It's very dangerous to do. It's very heavy, very, very heavy. It's a very hard thing to do. Plus, we didn't give much notice because they didn't know we were coming until just, then. And nobody thought we'd go after that site because everybody said that site is impenetrable.
So what's notable there, a lot of his normal statements, but he said we didn't give them any heads up, so how could they have known to move their enriched uranium? But you remember Trump just said this at the NATO summit?
And even get down. The whole thing is collapsed at a disaster. And I think all of the nuclear stuff is down there because it's very hard to remove. And we did it very quickly. When they heard we were coming, it was, you can't move it. Very hard, very dangerous, actually, to move to. And they also knew we were coming, so I don't think too many people want to be down there knowing we're coming.
They knew we were coming. Now he's saying they didn't know we were coming. Trump, you were posting for weeks beforehand. Man, if we bomb it, it's going to be crazy. It's gonna be like nothing you've ever seen, baby. We're gonna strike the hell out of Iran if we want to. Get ready. Oh my gosh, I know where the supreme leader is. If I want to take him out, I could take him out. Trump was saying all of that on social media. And so of course they would have had time to make some preparations. Then try to get your head around this one. Before listening, please do, if you appreciate the show, click the subscribe button. It's free, but it helps you get suggested the videos.
And we just about had it done, and then they said we want enrichment. Enrichment doesn't mean like air conditioning, and it doesn't mean to jack up your car. Enrichment is a bad word. It's
kind of an old-fashioned word, enrichment, like groceries. They said groceries. They said I'm very kind. I said wow, very old-fashioned word. All statements he's actually made. But now enrichment is not like, quote, enrichment doesn't mean air conditioning or to jack up your car. Enrichment is a bad word. Do we trust that he knows better than his intelligence community? Do we really trust that? Do we really trust that whenever we get preliminary reports showing maybe the strike didn't go how he said that it did, or when they say that there wasn't the imminent threat that Trump was claiming, and Trump goes, all right, fine. He doesn't even dispute they're saying that. He goes, oh, Tulsi said that? All right, I disagree. Or my other members of my intelligence community, that report, I don't know, I know better. But that's how he talks about the subject at hand. Enrichment, it's not like rich, like, you know, like I'm rich, right? I'm so rich. I had a golden apartment. It's not like rich in that way. It's not like inside of rich, like a person. Mint, like a person. You're inside of rich and you're taking a mint. Like that's not that type of enrichment. It's a bad word. But he can't even summon what it means to enrich uranium. He just kind of, it's like tariff is a beautiful word, enrichment's a nasty word, right? He speaks like a little kid.
They were trying to seal up the entrance to where the bomb would most likely go in. And they did that. They were working on that, and the bomb went through it like it was butter, like it was absolute butter.
Because I saw reports that there were 400 kilograms, 800 pounds that they moved, but I wonder if it's traceable. I mean, if they were to have moved,
they didn't move anything.
They didn't move anything.
You know what they moved themselves? They were all trying to live. They didn't move anything. They were trying to seal.
They did move stuff. That's our best information as of now, and he'll just keep lying about it. But on TikTok, which is Cole's off today, so he doesn't play the thing. Yay. Otherwise, he'd play the soundbite that drives me loco or batty like the whales, according to Trump. And Trump has been talking about a TikTok deal to save TikTok for a really long time now, but we don't really know what was happening with it. And this statement does not help us get much more insight. Let's listen.
% or 40 or 50%. I would rather do that. So when
We're not going to extend the pause.
I don't think I'll need to because I could. There's no big deal. It's like TikTok. I'm extending that, but no big deal. We have a buyer for TikTok, by the way. I think I'll need probably China approval. And I think President Xi will probably do it.
Who's the buyer?
I'll tell you in about 2 weeks.
A big technology company there.
A point Jane made when I played that clip was Trump is so online. How does he not see all the talk about his 2 weeks, whatever you call that, habit, where everything's always coming in 2 weeks, and then he does it again, which means it's not coming. It's not. Everything's always in 2 weeks. But whenever, I will say, sometimes he does actually set a date. Like some of his tariff stuff, he actually set a date and then he just flip-flops on them. But whenever he doesn't know when something's going to happen, it's just always 2 weeks. Healthcare plan's going to be in 2 weeks. We're going to have proof of election fraud in 2 weeks. It's just always in 2 weeks. Then you have this.
A very good thing. But they are paying substantial tariffs.
Well, I noticed that because it seems like you go so far with China, but you don't sort of use the leverage that you can use. I mean, look.
If I ever had to use it, I'd use it. But when there's no reason to use it, that's good too.
Well, we did just arrest 3 or 4 Chinese nationals who tried to bring a pathogen into the country that gets people sick and destroys food supply. We've got hacking.
You don't know where that came from, though. I mean, did that come from the country, or is that 3 wackos that happened to carry something? You just don't.
Well, there was one that he signed that he would be, one of them signed a paper saying that he would value Mao Zedong's value system. So there was that. And then they hack into our telecom system. They've been stealing intellectual property. They fentanyl, COVID. I mean, all of this stuff. So how do you negotiate with obviously a bad actor and trust them on economics?
You don't think we do that to them? We do.
So
we do a lot of things.
That's the way the world works?
That's the way the world works. No, it's a nasty world.
And then you just do a trade deal?
We do. Well, we made a lot of money with this trade deal. I do a trade deal if it works. We made a lot of money with the trade deal.
There's no trade deal. He keeps saying that. There's no trade deal. He hasn't announced it. He hasn't given even bare bones. There's nothing. Now I guess we're almost a week into him saying there's a deal with China that we haven't seen any insights on. What a weird thing for Bartiromo to list, they hack into our telecom system. They've been stealing intellectual property, fentanyl, COVID, all this stuff. For Trump to go, well, we do that to them. It reminds me of whenever he was asked in his first campaign about Vladimir Putin, and he's murdered political opponents, and he's an authoritarian, and he's ripped away rights from folks, and then Trump's response was, we've done bad stuff too. And it's just kind of a weird thing for the U.S. president to say, China does whatever, but, we do stuff. Are you admitting to something? What did we hack? I mean, we do. It's true, but you're not supposed to say that. I guess this was the story Bartiromo was responding to. 2 Chinese nationals have been accused of smuggling a fungus into the United States that officials describe as a dangerous biological pathogen. I was trying to understand this. It looks like the 2 Chinese citizens allegedly sought to use the University of Michigan laboratory to conduct research on the pathogen. I can't tell if it was a pathogen they were trying to bring in to study, but it's illegal to have it because of the dangers of it. But we don't know if they were going to do anything with it or just study it, or if it was specifically for the purpose of harming the United States. And I didn't get much clarity as I looked into it more. Quote, these 2 aliens have been charged with smuggling a fungus that has been described as a potential agro-terrorism weapon into the heartland of America, where they apparently intended to use a University of Michigan laboratory to further their scheme. Well, we do this to them. Trump says, come on, we're all bringing fungi all over the place. Then Trump says this.
And then I help China
So
by reducing it.
we still don't know. We don't have the clarity on what you're going to do with these expiration of these pauses. July 9th.
No, I thought I
August
just
12th
said
with
it.
China.
No, I thought I just said it. You ready?
You're going to send letters.
I'm going to send letters. That's the end of the trade deal. I could send one to Japan. Dear Mr. Japan, here's the story. You're going to pay a 25% tariff on your cars, So we give Japan no cars. They won't take.
Dear Mr. Japan, Trump says. So, more substantively, we went from 90 deals in 9 days, and we're going to have perfectly crafted deals with all the countries that we are in these trade wars with to win for America. And we've gone from that to we're just going to kind of send other countries letters saying, here's your tariff rate. So if that's what ends up happening, just any of the defenders of Trump who are going around, and when Trump did his UK deal and his mythical China deal, you said, see, Liberation Day tariffs, those were all strategic to bring people to the negotiating table. Jiu-jitsu, you get economic concessions out of them in exchange for lowering the tariffs. That was the argument from a lot of people who admitted it'd be reckless to actually do the Liberation Day tariffs. But now Trump is just saying we're going to, like this never happened, just send them, here's the flat rate that we're going to tariff your country, which means the tariff U.S. companies are going to have to pay when they import stuff from that country. And you accomplish nothing. That's not a deal. That's not a win. That's just slapping a tariff on a country, which he could have done day one. And we've seen we aren't getting the economic benefits that he proclaimed we would. That's where I'll leave this. Share your thoughts in the comments.